Hello guys, welcome back to my channel once again here on YouTube for part 2 of 13, covering the pay-per-views from 2011 of WWE. So next up we've got the Elimination Chamber 2011, and apparently, did you know that this is known as No Way Out in Germany? I don't know if it still went on to be known as No Way Out to this day, but researching some stats I needed to research for the purpose of this video, it apparently said that No Way Out is the name of this pay-per-view still in Germany, which is pretty unusual and pretty cool. And I wish they kept that as the name rather than having the name Elimination Chamber, because I did like the name No Way Out. It's what I was used to. But anyway, enough of that. Let's have a look at the cover before we go into the matches and everything else. So this UK release came with Raw and SmackDown Blu-ray extras disc again, the same as the Royal Rumble one did I showed you in the last video. Raw, the Return of the Rock, there on a kind of badge thing. Edge snacking on the chain of the Elimination Chamber. This is a 2-disc set, obviously. 15 certificate here in the UK, Silver Vision release. Sorry, here are the discs. So there's the bonus disc that contains Raw and SmackDown post Elimination Chamber. So unlike the Royal Rumble, where we had it pre, the shows were pre-Royal Rumble, like SmackDown and Raw, this time Elimination Chamber has post Raw and SmackDown, which is very odd, but I don't mind that. I prefer it that way. Very good as well, I must say. I did enjoy the bonus with the Return of the Rock. Very good, very entertaining. And the disc artwork's pretty cool for both, I think. I like all the detail put into both, and especially this Elimination Chamber one with the ceiling of the chamber on the disc, if you see what I mean. It's pretty smart. No interior artwork, I was going to say. I don't know if it's because of a reason I'm about to explain to you now. And there is like artwork out there, and then let me know and I'll explain why that is now. So this is only what I'm going by in my mind, what I think that reason could be. You see, there's this little box here, and there's usually a WWE hologram in it. And I had it on the Royal Rumble one that I showed you yesterday, guys, in my video yesterday. That one there. And apparently you could only get that hologram if you'd pre-ordered the Blu-ray or DVD at the time from the Silver Vision website or whatever it was back then. And if you didn't, they released these other ones in like stores like HMV and everything else, where it just had the box without the hologram. And I don't know if that's the case because it doesn't have the hologram, that we don't have interior artwork. Does anyone else own this that could verify that for me, that has the hologram on the back, whether we have interior artwork or not? Just something that interests me, because if that's the case, I'll have to look out for all the ones with the holograms in the future and re-go through everything in my collection, just so that I can have the purpose of having interior artwork. But yeah, bit of a bizarre one that, guys, but I thought I'd share that with you and ask you if you knew what the hell I was going on about. So this had a 5-hour, 22-minute runtime. So 2 miles of chain, 10 tons of steel, 16 feet high and 36 feet in diameter. The confines of the Elimination Chamber will barely contain the animosity sure to be unleashed within, especially with so much at stake. 6 superstars from Raw fight for the chance to face the WWE Champion at WrestleMania 27. The career-altering abyss that is the Elimination Chamber will also feature a battle for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jerry the King Lawler looks to achieve long-time goals when he faces The Miz, winning the WWE Championship and earning his first ever match at WrestleMania 27. The superstars of Raw and SmackDown clash within WWE's most diabolical of structures, the Elimination Chamber. So the matches we had were a number 1 contenders Elimination Chamber match, John Cena versus Randy Orton versus John Morrison versus R-Truth versus CM Punk versus King Sheamus. World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match for the World Heavyweight Championship, obviously. The World Heavyweight Champion Edge versus Big Show versus Kane versus Drew McIntyre versus Rey Mysterio versus Wade Barrett. WWE Championship match, WWE Champion The Miz versus Jerry the King Lawler. Kofi Kingston versus Alberto Del Rio. WWE Tag Team Championship match, the Tag Team Champions Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov versus the core members Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater. This also had a bonus special feature on the same disc as the pay-per-view, the controversial war of words between The Rock and John Cena, where John Cena cuts a promo as a revenge against what The Rock has said to him when he returned to WWE on an episode of Raw. And the exclusive Blu-ray content contains the 21st of February episode of Raw, which had John Cena versus CM Punk, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, Randy Orton versus Sheamus, the return of The Rock, as we mentioned earlier, and the 25th of February 2011, of obviously, dumbass, of SmackDown, contained a 12-man tag team match. John Cena, Randy Orton, John Morrison, R-Truth, Rey Mysterio and Edge versus CM Punk, Sheamus, Kane, Wade Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. Kofi Kingston versus The Miz, and a World Heavyweight Championship match between Edge and Ziggler, and more. So yes, that's all of that. So a few stats I wanted to share with you guys was the attendance for this pay-per-view. We had 11,500 with a 212,000 buy rate. That's less than half what the Royal Rumble did, which I found quite shocking, to be honest. But then again, Royal Rumble isn't much of a bigger pay-per-view than what Elimination Chamber is, in my opinion anyway. But that's still a drastic change in buy rate. Anyway, pros. The World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match was pretty awesome. No pun intended there. Miz or whatever. I know he's not in that match, but he's in this pay-per-view. But yeah, it was awesome. And so's The Miz. This is how I used to love to see Kane as well, as he was in this match. Almost indestructible monster. He pretty much took out Mysterio, Edge, and Wade Barrett all by himself. He didn't eliminate them. He just was a one-man wrecking crew. He didn't eliminate any of those. No, sorry, I'll just remember in my head then. No, he didn't eliminate Mysterio, Edge, or Wade Barrett, but he took them on like a 3-on-1 handicap match pretty much as soon as his pod opened up, and he was on fire. Another pun then, guys, not intended, I promise. as soon as he left his pod, and McIntyre launching Mysterio like a rocket into one of the empty pod glass screens looked absolutely nasty, and I really felt for poor little Rey Mysterio. Big Show completely destroyed Wade Barrett. I kind of felt sorry for Barrett here. And Kane eliminated... I didn't write it down who he eliminated. I do remember he eliminated 2 of the participants. I thought I had it in my notes here, but no. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, he did very well, Kane, in that Elimination Chamber. And I was very happy with that. And eventually it came down to Edge and Mysterio. Both men did well, and but it was Edge who came out victorious, retaining the title. Post match, we had Alberto Del Rio come in and attack Edge, putting him in that armbar move of his. I don't really know what does he call it. Something I can't remember. The armbar submission finisher thing. Completely fucking forgot what that's called as well now. Apologies for that, guys. Yeah, and then Christian had to come out and make the save for his best friend, even though they were referred to as brothers in the Attitude Era. Well, it gets confusing. I got to try and remember when certain points during wrestling storylines where something actually makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, were they brothers then? No. Were they referred to as brothers then? Don't think so. Maybe it was early 2000s the last time they were referred to as brothers. Could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. It confuses the hell out of me. Why keep changing all this, around? That's like saying that the Brothers of Destruction aren't real brothers. Well, hang on, they aren't though, are they? You get my point though. Why tell everybody worldwide watching, all your fans, that you're brothers, and then it turns out you're not, and then you're best friends? That's going to confuse the parents too, isn't it? God knows what Edge and Christian's parents must have been thinking when they when they discovered that they're actually best friends and not siblings. Anyway, The Miz versus Jerry the King Lawler sounded like a complete joke on paper, but as the old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover. This match was really cool. Lawler came so close, and what a strange start to 2011 with these two pay-per-views I've reviewed so far. In regards to like what ifs, imagine if Jerry Lawler had won here and Santino Marella had won the Rumble. What an interesting WrestleMania 27 main event we could have had for the WWE Championship. But, that didn't happen. But, what if, guys? What if? Absolutely crazy shit. The Rock returning on the bonus disc was funny as hell. I also was entertained by the John Cena follow-up Thugonomics rap to get back at The Rock on the bonus content there on the pay-per-view disc. But yeah, all of this was pretty cool. And my cons, watching Trish Stratus try to perform The Rock's catchphrase with a mix of Booker T at the end of it was an absolute cringe fest. Vicky Guerrero's promo where she's pleading with Teddy Long to get Dolph Ziggler rehired back to SmackDown was just atrocious. And this kind of shit could have just been saved for like SmackDown instead of having it waste time on a pay-per-view. We could have had extra matches on this event instead of all this time wasting bullshit. I may get a lot of hate for this as well, but I didn't like the number one contender Elimination Chamber match as it felt too predictable that Fruity Pebbles John Cena was going to win this. So it took the fun out of the match for me. It did have some fun moments though during that match, because we had John Morrison dive from the roof of the chamber onto Sheamus to eliminate him, and that was quite incredible. But the match itself, like I said, I just didn't enjoy it because of that reason, knowing that John Cena was obviously going to win. But comparing it to some of the recent years' Elimination Chamber matches we've seen, I'd say this is 100 times better than what we've had recently, like in 2022 and 2021. The annoying Hornswoggle reinstated CM Punk to the Elimination Chamber match as he claimed that it wasn't a fair elimination because Punk's pod had malfunctioned, which I found quite annoying. You've left your pod, that's your own fault. I mean, if you look at what happened with the situation with Bobby Lashley at Elimination Chamber 2022, did we have all that kind of nonsense going on? No. Doesn't make any sense. WWE doesn't make any sense, even back here during 2011. But yeah, that's my weird pros and cons, guys. I know it might sound a bit strange today, but yeah, that's pretty much what I put together in my notes. And the top 3 matches I have from third to first: the WWE Tag Team Championship match between Vladimir Kozlov and Santino Marella against the Cores, Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater. Well, that was a pretty cool match. We had a bit of interference, as you would expect from the Core, but I give it a 3 out of 5, that one. My second top match of the night, and this was quite surprising to me, I didn't expect me to even include this on this list, was The Miz against Jerry the King Lawler. I give that a 4 out of 5, and that was a surprisingly good match. The World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match was my first choice, and I gave that a 4 out of 5 as well. That was pretty cool. And I'm sorry I didn't do a top 3 matches for the Rumble. I'm sure you can appreciate it seemed pretty pointless because it only had 4 matches anyway. And I almost didn't bother with this one because this one only had 5 matches. So we have 2 pay-per-views back to back with only 9 matches between 2 pay-per-views. That is absolutely crazy. Now, the big question now then, guys, is should you buy it? If you're going to buy it, I say buy it with the Blu-ray version again. It gets the extra content of Raw and SmackDown. Definitely value for money there. The pay-per-view itself, I give a score of 6 out of 10, like I did with Royal Rumble. And I chuck an extra point on top, as I did with the Royal Rumble as well. And I'm going to go and give it a 7 out of 10 because of that bonus disc. But if this was the DVD version, I would have just said 6 out of 10 overall. So yeah, that's my review, my thoughts, opinions, and everything else on this. Please let me know in the comments below if you like this and your opinions on it and everything else. Any of the matches you want to talk about, please feel free to comment. Give me a thumbs up if I deserve one today. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate you all helping me support this channel. It's free to subscribe, so subscribe. You don't have to pay anything. It's free here on YouTube. I'd be very grateful. Stay safe, and I'll see you again for episode 3 of this series, which will be WrestleMania 27, which I'm looking forward to going through and reliving again. Yes, hosted by The Rock. Should be fun. The Miz against John Cena. Triple H versus The Undertaker. Cool. Stay safe then, guys. Peace.